there, and welcome to another episode of SOMP, the Space Opera Music Podcast, another Star Wars show. Thank you for joining us from wherever you're joining in the galaxy. For those of you new around here, this is Ashton, one of your co-hosts, and I'm joined by none other than Tim, the Greasebatch. How's it going, Tim?
How's it going? It's so good to be back on some. Welcome y'all to your Star Wars music podcast of choice. It's Saturday, everyone.
Yes.
So pumped. This is going to be a good one. Last week we talked about everything, well, not everything, but everything basically Acolyte, just kind of like our feelings, our vibes, and talked about some of our favorite track listings from the soundtrack and stuff. So we'll do more of a deep dive on like the soundtrack, and like with clips and stuff, but it was good to kind of get some of those feelings out from the Acolyte news.
Yeah.
Also, really quick, we had recorded last week's podcast right before the news of James Earl Jones. And dude, still kind of recovering from that.
Yeah. He's one with the force now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of wild, man. We're like there's like a lot of pivotal, legendary people that are just getting up there in age. And, he was one of them. So
my timeline was full. And it was right after we recorded, right?
It was like right after. Yeah.
Hours. I was laying in my bed after I missed the train. And I was getting the news, and then my feed was full of it.
Yeah, dude.
So many tributes to Mr. James Earl Jones, which were good to read. You reshared Giancarlo Esposito, aka Moff Gideon, some moving words.
Yeah, dude.
And huge impact on a huge community, actually, in many ways.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and obviously John Williams, he's getting up there.
Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, they're all getting up there, man. So, yeah, we will get through all of that when it happens together as a fandom, hopefully a united fandom.
Yes.
So, cool.
But we might hear Mr. Jones' voice again because he has done some signings to have AI take on his voice to make something out of it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Amazing.
I still don't know what to think of it. It's it's an option to do it, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it. But it could be helpful for some scenes.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully that's done well and respectfully. That's great. And like kind of exciting.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Cool, man. Dope. Well, I don't have musical experience this week, so I'm going to skip myself on that, and I'll turn it to you for that, which we can just have be a whole segment of this episode. I know you have a pretty cool musical experience of the week.
All right. By the way, I continued to play some Outlaws, which is great, still great. I love it. And I listen when I'm driving. I'm listening to my favorite songs from Spotify. You know, the ones where you give a heart to.
Yeah.
And every now and then turns up a Star Wars song, and I need to listen to it. Except for the main tales and Imperial March, because I'm a little tired of it right now.
Yeah,
it happens from time to time, and Cantina Band as well, the first song. But yeah. So I listened to the track "Follow Me" from The Force Awakens and Rey meets BB-8.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Actually, pretty good. Yeah, and then today I saw the first episode from the what's it actually called? Brick the World, the Lego Star Wars
Rebuild the Galaxy, I think.
Rebuild the Galaxy, yeah, sure. Oh, well, it's totally dumb. Yeah, it has 4 episodes. I watched the first one. It has a nice little nod to our favorite band.
Oh, sweet.
And I like the Lego the vibe of those Lego Star Wars things in general. Approaching the galaxy far, far away from that view is always fun. And the soundtrack was pretty good as well. It felt to me right on point to do it.
That's awesome.
And
Do we
I'm
know?
excited.
I didn't even think I'm like so behind, I swear, on content. Like, like everyone else's content too, like other content creators and podcast episodes. I'm just like so eternally behind. But I have not been able to watch this yet. And I haven't even looked up who the composer is, man. I feel like a slacker. Who is it? Do you know?
Michael Kramer.
Okay.
I don't know him so far, but that
Me
doesn't
either.
mean he seems to be pretty young,
Oh,
like
cool.
compared to other ones.
Okay.
Let me like look it up real quick. But yeah, it has the 4 episodes. Each are 25 minutes. So
Sweet. That's so much fun, dude. Like, wow.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
it
This
is.
guy has done all of the Lego Star Wars stuff. He did the Terrifying Tales. He did the
Oh
holiday
yeah,
special.
sweet, sweet,
He's all over this, dude. Summer Vacation, all of the Star Wars Lego stuff. That's amazing.
good dude.
Yeah, right on. Good for him.
Yeah, totally. I can't find out how old he is, but
Um,
doesn't matter actually.
it
Does
doesn't.
matter.
It doesn't.
Well, yeah, that's it's fun. It's a fun. I mean, you have to like the whole comic side of it and
Hmm.
everything, but it's well done. I like Lego Star Wars and I like Star Wars and I like Lego and I like music, so it's a good call for me.
Yeah,
Plus
dude.
the Lego sets accompanying it are so great. The Dark Millennium Falcon with Florida Luke and
Right. Yes, dude. Yeah, I really can't wait. So little Elsie, for those of you who don't know my daughter, she's 2.5 years old. Um, she has been playing with my Legos. Tim, you can see here the
yes, I can.
catastrophic mess. Like my Millennium Falcon is destroyed. The AT-AT is destroyed. I have
Hmm.
Django's Slave One just annihilated, but it's so much fun. I know I'll rebuild these things one day, but it's just so much fun to like share these things and like she's, you know, seeing the characters and like making sound effects for
Hmm.
the flying ships and stuff. Like just kind of like
Dude,
getting, planting the seeds, if you will. And
sweet.
yeah, she instead of Chewbacca, she says Chukubaka, which is
Chugubaka.
that's
That's pretty
just
cool.
just the cutest. But
Yeah.
anyway, because we're playing with Legos more and she likes them and stuff. I cannot wait to show her Lego Star Wars stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I knew like this one that just came out is probably not the best one to introduce her to that.
No.
Like we're still on our like Bluey and like Super Kitties phase. Like
Hmm.
we haven't watched Spidey yet or anything like too intense or like with bad guys. So well,
But
Super
you could
Kitties.
watch what's it called, the new show, Young Jedi, maybe.
Yeah. So even that one I'm like a little apprehensive about because it has that
Okay.
like kind of pirate figure. I
Oh
forgot,
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
his
yeah.
name, but it with the
Hmm.
mask on and like the kind of distorted voice, like that. I don't know. I don't want to like I don't want to push it. So,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
but I'm so excited for that. I think when she's 3, I think that'll be kind of
Hmm.
when it's like starting to be okay to watch that.
Yeah.
Because I've watched a bit of it. If anyone has not watched that, don't
It's
sleep
fun.
on it.
Yeah, don't sleep on it.
It's pretty cool. There's also like some cool lore stuff.
Totally. That's
Um,
that's why I like to watch any show actually, because of the lore.
dude, like Yoda's, I mean, oh
Get it.
gosh, spoiler alert. Yoda's lightsaber. Um, I can't remember if it was like just his apprentice lightsaber or his training lightsaber. I can't remember, but his like first lightsaber, I believe,
Hmm.
he ends up giving that to one of the younglings. And like that's just so cool. Like it makes me want to get that. Like a legacy hilt, like to
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
Yoda's apprentice lightsaber. Like that is
Hmm.
so cool. So anyway, yeah, that'll be one, but certainly Lego Star Wars will be one. Um, I just I feel like I would almost rather it be the video games since they're accurate.
Yeah.
Like all of these like special things coming out, they're like just crazy multiverse-ish weirdness. Like
Hmm.
I don't really want to confuse her, I don't think. And maybe that's silly. I don't
It,
know. We'll see.
in general, it's so interesting because when you grow up with, all those Darth Vader and stormtroopers, you're not afraid of them because you see
Right.
them all the time in your
I
parents'
know,
house.
for sure.
And
And then
you know,
yeah, and then you watch
when
Rogue One or like
yeah.
Andor more specifically, and you're like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Did it ever happen to you when you claimed to be Kylo Ren in Disneyland when a kid grabbed your or hugged your leg?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Or they would like grab my hand
Yeah, that's
and
so
like
cute.
we're not like we would specifically be told like we're not allowed to like hold hands with the little ones. Um,
Okay, I see.
they do it a bit actually at Batu West over in California. They just have a different set of rules over there, everyone.
Because people are different over there, right?
Exactly. And it's just a good old time over there. Batu East and just like East in general is a
Mm-hmm.
bit weird down here in
Mm-hmm.
good old Florida for those who don't know where I'm at. Yeah, so yeah, we weren't like allowed to, but like if a kid grabs your hand, like you're not gonna
Push it
swat it
away.
away, right? Like, get out. But yeah, it's more just like I kind of would always play it as like I'm kind of uncomfortable, like I feel
Hmm.
like Kylo would be
Oh yeah.
uncomfortable by affectionate touch
Hmm.
from a little one, right? So I would just kind of like stiffen up and like slowly look at it like I don't like this kind of a vibe. At least that's what I would try to convey.
Hmm.
And yeah,
That's funny though.
yeah. One, not to get on a tangent, but what I would usually do with little ones if they weren't scared and they were enjoying the interaction is I would kind of like kneel down, like kind of like he does to Laura Sinteca. Um,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
for anyone who doesn't know that name, that's the old dude that Kylo slaughters in The Force Awakens. So anyway, like that kind of like kneel thing, or I think he even does it to Poe. Um,
Yep.
Actually, no, he only does it to Poe. My apologies. He's like standing with Loras and Tekka
Yep.
when he slices
True.
him.
True. Yeah,
He
that's true.
kneels for Poe. My bad, everyone. I need to watch the sequels again. Um, but yeah, anyway, I would do that kind of like a squat kneel kind of thing, like still on my
Hmm.
toes, but like my knees are
Hmm.
up and like my forearms are braced on my knees.
With a stance, yeah.
Yeah, and like, do some gestures that way. That was always fun. So anyway,
Sweet.
cool. Well, that's a great
Sweet.
musical experience to have, dude. I need to watch that. I'm so excited to see Darth Jar Jar, amongst other things.
Yeah, and I would like to have seen like a Darth Padme version as well.
That'd be cool. That'd be
But
cool. Oh,
there's some space
dude.
for the future
I,
because it's actually the best way of this whole what if series to put it in Lego Star Wars.
right.
Because I'm not a fan
You're
of
right.
those what if scenarios, and I know Marvel has done it. I haven't seen it, but I always felt it wouldn't be appropriate for Star Wars, and that's the best way to do it. How they did it
No,
right now.
you're so right, dude. Dude, the just speaking of Lego really quick, the Lego Advent
Hmm.
calendars. You've seen
Yeah,
those?
I
So
have it every year.
dude, yeah, my first one was last year and I absolutely loved it. It had like Mando's in one starfighter, for example, and like the
Yeah,
Hailfire droid and like
yeah,
like just so many good
so
items.
cute.
The
Hmm.
one the one for this year just came out. And I got to look at it and I cannot wait to get it. It has
Hmm.
so many good items. Spoiler alert for anyone, like skip forward like the next 60 seconds if you want to be surprised by it. They have the Razor Crest. They have the Millennium Falcon.
Dope.
They have a mini kit, like a little,
Oh, like
yes,
from the
dude.
games?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Yes,
Yes,
dude. They
finally.
they have Vader's castle.
Yeah.
They have Luke and
Luke and
Leia,
Leia
but in like
in, yeah.
Christmas sweaters.
Yeah. ugly ones.
Yeah, they have Ahsoka. Like this one is so sick. I
It's
cannot wait.
it's it's the 25th anniversary calendar. It's not the 25th, but we are in the year of the 25th year of. Oh, you
You're
already
right.
bought it?
No, no, no. This is the one from last year.
Oh,
I always
that's
have
fine.
it out and ready at hand.
To show off.
Yeah. Um, yeah. No, you're right. This is the 25th year. So yeah, yeah. Of course they're gonna
Yeah,
go all out.
it must be a
It's
special one. Yeah.
it's so good. Yeah. Everyone put that on your Christmas list. Let Santa
Yeah.
Claus get that for you.
So my birthday is on 23rd of November, and my mom always gifts me that,
Oh, that's
because Christmas
amazing.
season is just ahead.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, dude. Sick. Okay. Well, everyone, the time has
Welcome back
come.
for them. Yeah, the time has come. Yeah,
The time has
totally.
come. Tim, would you like to tell everyone what you're about to talk about?
So we are going to talk about my master thesis,
Yes.
which is called Film, Music, and Narration, I think. And I will skip the narration part because I cannot explain it in English. I tried, but it's complicated in general, but in English I will fail. It's so
Sure.
hard. But
Sure.
basically, it is about like how music can describe parts of the story.
Hmm.
And I took the theme of the Force as a theme which appears in all 9 movies, and I watched all movies and wrote down the timestamps when it appeared,
That's so cool.
actually.
That is so cool, man.
And I will go into that, but before that, I want to like do a real quick breakdown of the Force theme, because like harmonically, we are in a minor tonality, which is almost always connotated,
Yeah,
tied.
it
It's
has a
it's tied.
connotation.
It has a connotation to have a sad feeling somehow.
Hmm.
So and so and this part we go
Hmm.
to the subdominant, which is usually a sad key minor as well, but in this case it's major, so it's different and it's pretty refreshing. That's why it's can be so heroic also, all those different shades where it appears. And then we go a little further, and then we go to the parallel of the what's it called, the tonica, the one
Hmm.
which is in major as well. And then we go back through a little good old dominant to the tonic.
Yeah.
And
So that's what gives this theme that emotional but hopeful element. Like that's
yes,
why it feels so like emotionally hopeful is because of exactly
yes,
that.
yes. And what's interesting about it is the fact that originally, like for A New Hope or Star Wars, how it was called back before we were not even thought to be born, is that it was tied to as Ben Kenobi's theme. So the opposite
Hmm.
of like all the Imperial stuff, it was Ben Kenobi's theme, which you can find in the liner notes of the LP of the original ones. So no one knew that this movie would be a success and would like be a success 40 years plus later. And so Mr. Williams didn't know of that. And he thought, just let's make it for old Ben, this theme, which is pretty interesting because a huge disclaimer, I should say should have said that up front, because it's it's my master thesis and it should be like a scientific paper, but it's not very good.
Hmm.
Right now,
What makes you say that?
it's not enough science in it, because I have some
Sure.
assumptions and I'm not properly commenting them. And now I knew what to do better, but at that time I just want to have it done and
Yeah, complete it.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's still useful for someone like Frank Lehman because
Hmm.
I have a huge table in the end where I have all those I counted where it appeared and how many times it appeared. But
Hmm.
in general, let me skip to that table real quick because I was always like sorting it in the theme when it appears. Like, is it tied to Ben or Obi-Wan Kenobi or to the Force or to Destiny?
Hmm.
Those were the three most common things where it seems to appear. Of course, it changes the connotation to Obi-Wan Kenobi because, as we all know, as I just said, it was tied to it in the New Hope, and then not anymore, obviously, because we see him all the time, and you cannot always use it.
Hmm.
And even in
Right.
those movies, it's different. So, um, I'll try to tell you my results somehow. Because it's pretty interesting that it's not always, of course, the full like 8 bars theme. So
Right.
we have some mixed forms or some 2 bars or 4 bars. So it's just teased, it gets blended over to another cue or another event. But in general, we hear it in the original trilogy. In total, we hear it 50 times.
Wow.
So 23 times in A New Hope, 11 times in Empire, and in 16 times in Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
Um, and I won't read all of it, but like for the Kenobi tie is 551 in 456, and later on it's like almost zero.
Hmm.
Except
Okay.
for Revenge of the Sith, where it can be, you could say that it appears 3 times. But this is one of those, shady points where it's not too scientific enough to have real proof. But that's
Right.
how I saw and heard it, and you know all that kind of stuff. Interesting is the fact that in the prequels we have 38 appearances, so it's the
Okay.
least of the trilogies, which is quite logical because, as we all know, through Ashton's favorite movie, especially, the element of the choir is appearing as a new, never heard before element, and which has a new sound, among others, but um, where the theme of the Force is can be used pretty rarely to make the point of what's going on because it has been established in the OT.
Hmm. Right.
And then when we're going to the sequel trilogy, we have again 47 appearances,
Wow.
which makes sense as well because it's more referring. This trilogy is more referring to the OT than to the PT.
Hmm.
I was surprised actually how often appears in general
Yeah, it's a
because there are
lot.
some, yeah, it's a lot, and some cues you are not expecting it, or you're not, some parts, major parts, just where it is, like the binary sunset, of course,
Of
full
course.
blast, full sweeping, everything. But there's some other cues that I didn't notice or didn't know that exactly before, and I haven't, picked one to tell you, but if you see any movie the next time, you can be like on your toes or on your ear, little hairs. Listen for every,
Yeah.
force cue. It was fun
I
to do that way.
yeah, I have one for you that I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Revenge of the Sith. This might be the
Mm-hmm.
one where you're like, it could have been or not, but it's during Order 66. Is that
Let me
one?
um
I can play you the clip as well, if that would be helpful.
Order 66. Yeah, play it.
Okay. Here, let me. This is from a breakdown of mine from last year. So bear with the double Ashton voice. Here we go. So an unorganized, clashing force theme, which is quite interesting. And then, so what are your thoughts on that? I think we all recognize that clip from Anakin's betrayal or something, maybe Anakin's Dark Deeds, I'm not sure. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm trying to find it in my thesis, this part. It's during Order 66, right?
It's during it. Yeah, I think it's like I think it's when Kiadi Mundi is getting taken out. Um,
So,
so it's not the whole theme. Like the first clip that I played on piano was just to like familiarize the viewer of the video, like this is the Force theme. And then but the clip that you heard with the underscoring, it's like a condensed clashing Force theme. Like it doesn't resolve all the way. It like combines those last couple of notes to hit together.
mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm not finding it in my notes right now, but it doesn't matter actually.
Yeah. I'm just like wondering, like, I don't know, like that to me is a pretty obscure use of the Force theme.
Mm-hmm. It's a Destiny one.
Yeah.
You know, the
And
forces
right, well, and also
trying.
like the Force is in um despair in a way, you know, like
Yeah,
it
yeah, totally,
totally
totally.
evokes like the legacy of this theme that we've heard throughout the original trilogy and up until the Revenge of the Sith, like oh man, like it's falling apart in a way, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to live translate some of my words because it is so much that I couldn't, get
Nice.
totally into it and translate at the same time. But interesting fact for the music theory nerds. So in the OT, it doesn't appear in E, uh, G sharp, and B minor.
Mhm.
Does not appear. And the PT, it's not in E minor, E flat minor. And the sequel, it's not in G sharp minor. So the rest is present. Because it was a thesis I had that it could be tied like harmony wise to certain events, and I haven't found any clue which could be there, but I didn't found it. Even the plus the instrumentation changes, and I didn't, couldn't find any red lines, any same strings. But it's interesting to think about it.
Dude, so can you tell us those again? I need to write these down. So the original trilogy, it's not heard in E minor, G
G
sharp
sharp
minor, and
and B
B.
minor.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
PT, it's not in E flat minor,
Okay.
and the ST is not in G sharp minor.
Okay. That is fascinating, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wrap my head around that and think about that and like compare themes and stuff. Like I'm gonna look way too deep into this, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find some reasons for this,
Mm-hmm.
possible reasons for this. I'm gonna look way too deep into this, but thank you. This is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude. Did you find any like correlation to that or any reason or just,
No,
you know, yeah, okay.
it was not my main focus, but
Of
I'm willing
course.
to look into it again because I haven't been. I had so many thoughts and so many like paths to go down and end up not going down to it because when you think of
Yeah.
connotations to instruments or even keys, it's a rabbit hole somehow, and
Yeah.
it could be overthought or not. But I want to mention it to be able to track it like
Dude.
anyone.
I am so happy about this. I am going to go down such an unnecessary rabbit hole.
That's why
Thank
we're
you.
here.
Thank you. Amazing.
So what's interesting as well is even though in the prequel trilogy we see like pretty many Jedi and Sith.
Mhm.
Um, we don't see that, we don't hear the Force theme that much,
Okay.
and which is interesting as well for future or like non saga movies or shows, is the fact that when will the Force theme be heard in a new show, or will it in general? We were wondering about it in the Acolyte, because
Mhm.
right now it's so present in everyone's mind that it doesn't have to be teased when we see the Force, when I don't know, Grogu uses it or someone.
Right.
But
Like,
when it appears, it's so powerful and so emotionally tied to everything we know, that's a
right.
huge release or a huge like goosebumps scenery.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to be always there to make sure someone's using the Force.
Right. Exactly, dude. Do you, so with that point, do you feel like the frequency that it could be used cheapens the Force theme at all at a certain point? What's your kind of opinion on that after this thesis?
You know, the fact that in the PT it's used like far less is a necessary thing because we heard it so much. And the Force has its own place in this whole saga movies, so it has to be there,
Right.
you know. But it was good for like three movies that it was very selected and not overused
Right.
because of what I just said or what we just said. Sometimes it is even cute to when people say the Force, which is interesting as well because you might assume it, and sometimes it appears actually then.
Hmm. Like when it's mentioned, like
Hmm.
its essence like converges a little bit or like something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Hmm.
and
What's an example of that, if you have one readily available?
I think it's, let me just look it up real quick. In The Force Awakens, when Han says it's all true, that might be one of
Hmm.
those
Yeah, for sure.
cues
Okay.
when he says the Force, blah 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 blah.
That's cool.
Yeah, when he says, yeah, the Force. I didn't believe it at first, and so on.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's one of those cues.
Nice.
So yeah, the next cue would be right after when they're in Mass Castle and Rey touches the saber and Mass uh
Hmm.
tells her about the Force and the story of Luke and the Destiny. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and pretty often it's like the theme is played, of course, by French horn, but not all the time.
Yeah.
It's the most present one.
Did you find any correlations with instrumentation to context or like
I didn't look quite into it, but
cool?
could be another thing to dive into, actually.
Yeah,
I
I'd
just,
be curious
yeah,
about that. Yeah.
mhm,
Hmm.
yeah. I had some tiny rough notes on every instrumentation on each cue, and then the length of it, and then, yeah, I
Nice.
might send it to you, but you have to translate it anyways. But it might be interesting. I've actually
Yeah.
thought about sending it to Mr. Lehman as well, because he might
Mm.
have some use of out of the table at least. Because I don't know if someone would be so out of his mind to do something like this, and even if
Yeah,
he's,
it could be something that he has been procrastinating to do. Not to say that he's a procrastinator, but
yeah,
like I don't want to do this, like
could be, yeah,
um,
could be,
yeah. That'd be cool. Have a little chat with Frank Lehman, legend.
yeah,
For
dude. We should
those
invite him someday.
We totally should. For those who don't know, we've talked about him, in like the majority of our first episodes. Um, but basically he has compiled a like Star Wars thematic Bible, we can put it. It's like a PDF with like every theme, um, with the notation and some like music theory, like nerdy stuff, but also stuff for the non-musician that you would get out of as well. So um, like explanations of where the themes are or like characteristics, all organized by like movie or by theme. Um, as well as hyperlinked to like specific examples for some of the like the
Mm-hmm.
obscure like accidental themes, accidental reoccurring themes is one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite categories that he has on there. And
Yes.
um, yeah, so we'll yeah, as usual, we'll have that in the show notes. Please check that out. Um, there was something recently that Frank Lehman worked on. I think with the legacy of John Williams
Yeah, yeah. He wrote an
cats.
article about
Yeah,
yeah.
so maybe we can link to that too,
Mm-hmm.
and the just the legacy of John Williams cats as well, because they're doing some great stuff over there. So,
Yeah, totally. So I just found another of my I'm missing the word. What I found out is that when we hear the theme in the full 8 bars, it's almost always in the foreground. So when it's teased
mm,
for 2 or 4 bars, it's mostly in the background, and
wow.
mostly played by French horn when it's in the foreground. But depending on which instrument is playing it, it has different, emotional or even romantic charge to it.
Hmm.
Because in the throne room, it's played by trumpet, and it's very has a very march atmosphere to it. And
Yeah,
there you can really see the potential of this tiny, beautiful theme because it is so powerful and can be altered in so many ways.
totally. It can be victorious or it can be depressing. Like
Yeah.
just, which harmonically, like you were saying, like it lends itself well to that because it's predominantly in a minor key. And even if you do get that like ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that major chord right
Mm-hmm.
there, like even that can have this
Or even
better
it's not if it's not resolved.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
that, or even if it
Sometimes go that way. Yeah.
right, or if it does, like it can be a bittersweet thing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just such a versatile theme.
Mm-hmm. It's the perfect theme for the force, to be honest, because the force is pretty
Yeah.
neutral.
Well, yeah, it has
It
that,
is
yeah,
pretty. It's just there.
that light and dark mixture of
Yeah.
ambiguity. Yeah,
Yeah. Totally.
good
So,
point.
what I should have told you guys up front is this whole technique behind like the theme of the force or any theme, and we talked about it in previous episode, but this it's called leitmotif to have a certain tiny melody to attach to a person or to a situation or to an object, and was not invented but heavily used by Richard Wagner, in the what's that, 19th and 20th century. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So in operas, he used it pretty. He overused it actually, and
Hmm.
John Williams took this fragment to have some leitmotifs where he picked a handful of characters and situations, and like this one, the force, to make it really that you can track it as a listener who's not sitting there with a Bible of accompanying the piece to it, which
Hmm.
is actually in my opinion the best way to use this technique because it is open to anyone, and depending how subtle it is or not, yeah, you get it instantly, or you get it by the 500th time you see it, or
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, dude. I think that is, I don't know, just the magic of these big entertainment franchises like Star Wars or like, I don't know, in my opinion, they all tend to be John Williams accompanied, but like Harry Potter, etc. Like there has just been with these franchises, there has been this kind of like familiarity and resurgence of like attention to music
hmm
that I feel like wasn't there before these. Like that the
hmm
non-musician or like just like household themes. I feel like we went through a period of time culturally where that wasn't really a thing, like themes from entertainment weren't making their way into being household themes. Yeah, so it's just so cool to like have that now. And the reason why we can all talk about this, whether you're a musician or not, like we can all talk about these things. Really cool to think about.
yeah, totally. And when you talk of like in general certain somehow milestones of Star Wars, like design wise or anything wise.
Mhm.
Uh, um, I was wondering if the Force theme is one of those cues that anyone would recognize, like besides the main theme or the Imperial March, because
Right.
it could be both, because everyone knows how a stormtrooper looks,
Right.
and everyone
Hmm.
knows the Imperial March, aka Darth Vader's theme. But is the Force theme that
Yeah.
strong that people who haven't seen Star Wars or have maybe briefly seen it or like a long time ago would recognize it and tie it to Star Wars,
Right.
you know?
No, that's a great point, dude. That's an
And would
excellent
be
point.
would be interesting to have some actual surveys on it because it would depend on where you're located, because Star Wars is such a huge part in the US culture actually, and it's growing like here as well, but it
Hmm.
is, so many people who haven't seen Star Wars know the so much about Star Wars in the US, even though they haven't seen it. And here it's a little different. It's growing, but it could be um, different what depending on this Force theme as well. So that might be
Totally.
interesting.
No, that would be cool. I wonder if there are already surveys or studies
Hmm.
with that, because I bet it would be recognized just like the Imperial marches or whatever. So yeah, but we're biased
It is,
also.
yeah, yeah, totally. For me, it could be both.
Yeah.
It is a strong melody, but it's not an melody or not any other
Right.
like on the nose melody. But yeah, I don't know. If you're looking for a theme for your thesis out there for your dissertations or anything,
Please do
do
that.
it. Do it.
Yeah.
Please use it. Yeah. So that's, I think, for the moment, pretty much the most interesting stuff I have to tell you.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, could be some more, could go in some more depth, but it would be too much for this podcast. And
Yeah.
yeah, as I said,
Perhaps perhaps we
it's
can
from
do like a force theme thesis part two down the line, and
like the
and
real
like
scientific one.
yeah, yeah, or just, like if you haven't listened to this yet, please go listen to
Yeah,
episode 19, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is so rich because it tells so much, and the occasions it shows up, it is so different, so interesting as well.
Right.
So my suggestion, as I just said a few minutes ago, is when you want to watch any Star Wars movie, go and listen for the Force theme and when it appears actually.
Yeah. I'd also like to compare the animated shows because I know it's like
Hmm.
plays several times every episode for Clone Wars. It feels like, or like Rebels, and
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, it'd be funny to get like an actual number. Yeah. That'd be funny to
And in
compare.
general, interesting. I have in general music, the beginning of this cue, boo 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 boo, is very often used in any situation where it's a minor key and has some melodic approach to it. So
Yeah.
that's always fun to notice.
Right. Cool, dude. Well, this is super exciting. I
Yes.
I have been wanting you to like dig into this for a while. It's just like it's such a big deal to first of all get your master's degree, but also to like dedicate your master's thesis to this topic. Like that's so epic. So thanks for
Yeah,
sharing, dude.
I was pretty proud of it because
Yeah, you should
yeah,
be.
yeah, oh, it's my duty. It's my duty.
Yeah.
I was it's actually I handed in on the 8th of September 2021. So
Nice.
it's 3 years ago.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Hmm. That's funny.
That's great.
Sweet.
Cool. Well,
That's it for today, right?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's
everyone
a lot.
thank you. Yeah, we kind of like hyper sped through a lot of stuff there. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that episode. As usual, follow us on the socials, comment, email us. Our email is hellothere.somp@gmail. Send us questions. We still haven't opened up the Q&A thing on Instagram. We need to do that. I low-key
Yes.
just forgot
Yes, we
this
should do
weekend.
that.
So
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll do that.
But we have congrats to us, we have 500 plays in total.
Yeah, we just
You
passed
know,
500
you
plays.
guys, yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that's awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in.
We're approaching 25 episodes already. We're at episode 19 now. And yeah,
Hmm.
it's growing. So thank you all
It's growing.
for joining and following along. It's a blast to always, chat with all of you, connect with all of you. So yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
And for those of you in Germany, you little scoundrel, Ashton, I have
Don't blame
stickers for
me.
you guys.
It's not my
A
fault.
certain someone handed some was a data leak, and I
Yeah,
have
there you
stickers
go. There
now
you
from some stickers, and I will give them to you when we meet and we are meeting up in any convention this year. And if you want some and you don't live in Germany, just hit me up and I will send some to you.
Yeah. Lucky
And we make sure that the rest of the world will be covered as well in
eventually.
like any time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
get
lucky
this
people in
merch
Germany.
machine rolling.
Yeah.
You
Cool. Well, I
know,
have
we deserve it because you guys get all the cool stuff
That's
always
true. That's true. Yeah, that's
in
true.
general.
That's true. Well, I have a little Ewok taking over the room. So I will go with my little Ewok and play some games, some Legos, if you will. Um,
Sweet. Have fun, guys.
yeah, thank you. And everyone listening, you have fun too this week. Have a great week, everyone.
Have a great week. May the Force theme be with you always.
Nice.